Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Your Time to Shine, a radio show designed to help you explore your own divine gifts. Good evening, and thank you so much for being here with me on this Thursday evening. Hope you are all doing well out there. So, I ran across an old picture. It was actually one of those spiritual, uplifting sayings. And I can't remember exactly what it said now. I wish I would have brought it with me to the show because it was perfect. I would have loved to share that with you. Although I think what I will do is find it and I will paste it on my Facebook pages after the show. But in any regards, it was one of those that was about friendship and how, my life is so much more enriched because you have come into it. That was the premise of it, really. And it really got me to thinking. It got me to thinking about all of the things over the last few years that has gone on in my life and all the people, all the beautiful, awesome people that have been brought into my life. And so, as I was thinking about this tonight, I thought this would be a perfect topic to talk about because often we don't really think about those times, those or the people sometimes that just magically appear in our life at the right time. And sometimes they appear in really tough situations, right? So, as an example, I remember a few years back, I was transitioning from one job to another and was really unsure. I really couldn't figure out why I was taking this job. I was so conflicted about leaving my other job, but I was guided to take the job. So I did. And after some time of being there, it just was not a good fit for me. It was not a good situation. Energetically, it wasn't good. And I just couldn't figure out why. Why would spirit lead me to this? What was the reason? What was the purpose? Right. So it wasn't until much later when I decided I was going to transition out of that job into something that I am doing now that I realized, oh, it was the people that I met, specifically two very special people, actually three very special people. And um, I just got to thinking about that. I'm like, that's exactly why I took the job. I needed to meet these people in my life because these key people I know are going to be in my life for a long time. And they are extremely special. Even after leaving that job, right? I'm finding that even more so, these people are going to be in my lives for a long time. And this can be any kind of a situation. It can be a house move. It can be a relationship move. It could be family. It can be any situation. But if you take it and you look at it and you think, okay, so why was I put into that situation? Even though it might have been a really tough time, something that maybe you go, oh, I never should have done that. That was the worst mistake I ever made in my life, right? You have to stop and look because there's always, always, always a silver lining, always a little nugget that spirit has said, oh, don't overlook this, right? Another perfect example is um, as many of you know, if you've read my bio, I went through a divorce. And after that divorce, I chose to sell the house that I pretty much, my daughter grew up in. And I've always said that was the worst thing I ever did was sell that house. It was a perfect location. It was the perfect house for us. I'd had visions of me retiring in this house, and it just didn't turn out that way. However, looking back on it now, after many years later, I realized had we not moved, had I not sold the house and we moved, my daughter wouldn't have got the great education in high school that she got, which led her to her career path. Now, granted, we could have stayed in the house. We could have gone to, the local high school there. And chances are she may still have taken the same career path, but maybe not had quite the same advantages being in a school district that, was a little bit better, was a little more equipped and prepared for her type of schooling and her type of career path. So even though I'm feeling, oh, this was just horrible, right? I can't honestly say I made the wrong choice for the reasons just stated. So sometimes you have to take a look at this and say, why am I being called to do this? Why am I being called to move to a new job or to move to a new house? Maybe another state. Maybe you just don't know why you're doing it. You just know you need to do it. So trust in the guidance, trust in what's being brought to you, and then take stock and say, wow, what was it that I was really supposed to gain out of this experience? Because we all gain something out of it. It just may not be what we think it will be, or it may not show up right away. It may take us leaving that situation or moving on or doing something different before we go, oh, yes, now I get it. I know why that happened, right? And it's really an eye-opening experience when you stop and you realize, I know exactly why I took that path. So take a look, take a look at the people in your lives, the experiences, what you're going through at the time, and say, what is it that I'm doing? And what is the purpose of me doing this? And you may not know exactly what it is right now, but you will. It will be revealed to you sooner or later. And take stock. Hug those people around you. Tell them how much they mean to you. And um, express the gratitude. Express gratitude over and over. All right. Well, I hope you found those stories helpful and the insight helpful, because it was really eye opening for me when I had to stop and think about it. So right now we are going to go to the phone lines. We have a caller waiting. We have Terrence in Kentucky. Good evening, Terrence, and welcome to Your Time to Shine.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I am good. What can I do for you this evening?
Um, this is my first. I'm not really sure on the type of reading, but my girlfriend, she does readings. Like she was like, she's had experiences since childhood, and I just kind of thought I would try this. A little nervous.
Okay. Okay. So your girlfriend is a medium or a psychic, and she's been doing readings as well, correct?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Has she done a reading for you?
Yes, ma'am. A
Okay.
lot, a lot.
Good. Good. Good, good. Glad to hear it. All right. So you're just looking for some general information, a general reading to see whatever comes through. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I was, just some, so, I get readings from her all the time, so I was just seeing what else, what somebody else would get off me. I guess. I guess.
What was somebody else would pick up? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Well, let me just take a few minutes here, Terrence, and tune in and see what the guidance is for you. And I'll be right back. There'll be a little moment of silence as I do that. Okay.
Ma'am.
Okay. All right, Terrence. So I know that your girlfriend gives you readings all the time. What I'm being shown is there's just a little piece of you that's still kind of, I guess, unsure about all of the spirituality, and about all the information that comes through. Things you can't deny, right? Because she brought them forth to you, but there's still a little piece of you that's a little bit undecided about this whole thing. It feels very woo woo to you know to you a little bit. um
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
And that's, that's normal. um she's been very right on with you. um
oh yes, ma'am.
bringing
I
bringing
really feel like, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you. Yes, I
Yeah.
feel like he's been pretty spot on most of it, if not all. I don't know. I'm not a spiritualist.
Right. The information that she's bringing forth is pretty undeniable. I mean, that she brings it in, and it's pretty, spot on. um I feel like that as this as this goes on, and you continue down this path with her, things are going to start opening up for you, because as she grows and shifts and changes, um, with her abilities, things are going to start opening up for you, um, in a spiritual sense, right? You may get more gut instinct, which I'm being shown you have very good gut instinct. Um, don't always follow it, but you get a lot of really good gut instinct. And if you don't follow through, you go, oh shoot, should have listened. Should have listened to my gut about that one.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
so I encourage you to listen to to that gut reaction, to that little voice inside of you saying, oh, you should do this, or oh no, you should not do that. Because you're pretty spot on with that. um, I feel like I'm being ping ponged back and forth. um, like there's a decision maybe that you're trying to make, and you decide, yep, I'm going to do this, and then you say, oh no, I'm not going to do it. Wait a minute, yes, I'm going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. um,
Oh, that sounds like me. That sounds like me.
yeah. So I get the feeling too that you really think about things. Sometimes maybe overanalyze things a little bit. You're
Yes,
really in
ma'am.
your head a lot. And so to help you with some of those kind of ping pong situations, um, try to get out of your head a little bit and ask your heart, ask your gut, what is it that's going to serve in my highest and best? Because I think you'll get a very different answer, and one that really serves you, um, in that situation. Because a lot of us can get caught up in what we call the monkey mind, right? It's like it just goes and goes and goes, and finds all kinds of ways for us to not to do something, not to take action, right? And so it feels like that's kind of where you are right now. There's all these decisions, and you're really not taking any action on them because you're
Yes.
trying to figure out what's going to be the best for you, maybe the best for your family, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, you're right. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay.
Um,
Hmm.
hang on just
That
a
makes
second.
total sense.
So I get the feeling that there is, some of these things that you're ping ponging back and forth on, might be financial. I'm not sure if it's investing something, or if it's merely just switching jobs, changing it up, that might bring in more financial gain for you and your family. But it feels like there's something that you're kind of on the fence about, with that. And
Yeah, yeah, you're totally right. I'm struggling. I had to have a job. I'm struggling with trying to figure out what's right for me, I guess. Which I'm holding on to this job. I'm just just battling like what's my true passion.
right,
Other people are
right,
making money, doing the same things that I love to do, and it's like, how do I get on that level?
right. So are
You're
they?
right.
So it doesn't feel so. Yes, I see where you're going with this. I feel like though you haven't really found that thing that lights you up, right? Um, and your guides are saying wait for it, because it's going to show up. It's going to show up in something that you're doing, um, in this job that you're at. Something is going to come through. It's going to be a conversation, or it is going to be something that you're doing, for your job, and you go, oh, wait a minute, I just realized that when I do this, it lights me up. And then that's
Hmm,
when you're going to be able to step forward and look for something in that field. I feel like you're changing fields, like you're changing careers, um,
hmm.
into something different. And it feels like there's motion, there's movement in that. um I don't know if it's like, but there's big movement, big energy, in what your passion is. You're the type of person that likes to keep moving. um you don't like to sit, so a desk job is not going to be for you, because you need that momentum, you need that movement. um and so that's what's going to come up for you, is something in that nature. I don't know if it's like, um I keep feeling like sports or something like that, so I don't know. I don't know if there's something with coaching, or, but there's something with movement for you. um
Interesting. Hmm.
so, and you like, I don't know if you technically like to teach, but people really listen to you, and they learn from you. And so that, they really listen to what you have to say. um, and so you have that presence about you, um, that makes people want to lean in and go, oh, what is he saying? I want to listen to this, right?
Hmm.
um, so there's that presence of people, will learn from you. They'll take
It's
stock
fun.
in what
It's
you're
funny.
doing.
I'm sorry. It's funny that you say that because my dad ended up he was in the army and retired and ended up teaching, like being a teacher at school. And I don't know, just
Yeah,
a huge connection, I guess.
yeah, you have that same, flair, I guess, that your dad had. It's that same presence. um
Hmm. That's crazy. Wow.
yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah.
Well,
Is there
this
anything
was
else I could
very enlightening
ask?
for me.
Oh, good, I'm so glad.
Yes, ma'am. Um, uh, I'm a I'm a spiritual guy, I guess. But I don't know. I grew up Baptist and all that. I just I don't know. This stuff is new to me. So, but so far, it's like I don't know. That sounds completely right. Like I said, like you didn't even know anything about me, and you mentioned something that like my dad ended up like I watched my dad graduate from college and to be a teacher and doing his thing, trying to be
Right.
better. And crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. My uncle's the author. I,
Well, I
I
can
really
tell that
appreciate it.
yeah, you're welcome. I can tell that you're shifting and changing, um, becoming more open and aware to some of the things around you. So that's the first step, right? Is just being open.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're right. You're completely right about that. That is for sure. Gotta be open. Can't be closed minded about anything
Absolutely.
anymore.
Absolutely. Is there anything else I can answer for you this evening?
Um, no, I think you did an awesome job. Awesome.
Well, thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Have a wonderful evening, Terrence. Thanks for calling in.
You too. Or yeah. Bye. You too. Bye.
Bye bye. Perfect. We have Shirley in California. Shirley, welcome to Your Time to Shine.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay, hanging in there.
Good. What can I do for you this evening?
Um, actually, I just was kind of like lost without a purpose. I recently lost I do in home care. I took care of an elderly gentleman like for the last 10 years, but for the last year and a half, I had him living here with me, and he was in the hospital, and I had to fight to get him be able to come home on hospice, so he didn't die in the hospital. And I am just wondering if I did right, did I do wrong, did I screw up?
Right. Okay. Shirley, let me
I
just
mean, I
check
was
in
with
here.
him here when he passed. I was with him, so and so was his dogs.
I can tell you, Shirley, that you did the right thing. Your heart was in it. It was very heartfelt. And um, I'm being shown that he was so grateful for you, for taking care of him and for bringing that in. He really didn't have anybody else, and you kind of took him under your wing, so to speak, um, and you made him feel like a person. You made him feel whole, and so for that, he's so very grateful. He wants you to know that you did everything um, right because you did it from your heart, not for any
Well,
other reason.
he had cerebral palsy, so his verbal skills, weren't the best, and they've been steadily declining. But I mean, I don't know. I've fought for him for a lot of things, because people in that situation get taken advantage of. Sometimes I'm kind of pushy, and
Right.
like this time, he had his little dogs. That's what all he wanted to come home to. And I knew that, in the hospital that he was, steadily declining. He had a blood clot in his right lung, and it was just, when I got him home and he, with the feeding tube. Anyway, we made it, but by the time we got home, he really wasn't able to verbalize, you know, and
Yeah. I know
well,
that it's been really hard for you, but you have to know that he was exactly where he needed to be for his last little bit in life. And he was so grateful that you were there. He had his dog. He was in familiar surroundings. That was the most important thing for him. He really didn't want to be in a hospital. And so for that, you did him a great service.
Okay.
Okay. You have a
Well,
huge heart.
tomorrow, one of the, he had 3 dogs, and one of the dogs, you know, right before Robert got sick, we were discussing putting the dog down because, you know, the dog is older, he didn't have any teeth, and he was having health issues. But when I brought him home, he just passed on the 3rd. So when I brought him home, I didn't have the heart to put the dog down, you know.
Yeah.
So he was maybe 2 weeks. I don't even think it was 2 weeks that, you know, he made it once we got him home. But so the dog still, you know, now he's like brokenhearted, you know,
Yeah.
and really, really despondent. And so I have an appointment made tomorrow to have the dog put down, and I'm going to go ahead and pay for the dog to be cremated because he's cremated, and I was just going to mix their ashes together because he said right before, when he still had his words, he said, "Sparky never left my side."
Yeah. You're doing the right thing. And I know this is so incredibly hard for you. And I'm just sending you so much love right now. And know that you're doing the right thing. Okay?
And I mean, I think I'm going to go to work at Burger King next. This isn't my first, you know, time with people. I'm not like this. I'm not like a weirdo like when they're there, you know?
Right. Right. Shirley, we're going to be cut off here very, very soon. I want to say thank you so much for calling in. I wish you all the best. Know that you're doing your best and take very good care, okay?